This is TWiT.
What is going on at Facebook? So first of all, Facebook had its worst outage ever, unrelated entirely to the nightmares that have been going on at Facebook.
Yeah, at last they've...
Well, we don't know for sure that it's unrelated.
Maybe they were distracted.
Well, to be fair, the one thing they did say out right from the start was this wasn't a DDoS attack.
Can we trust a company when they say that? Is there...
No. When Facebook says anything, you have to take it with not just a pinch of salt, but an entire tanker load of
Are there
stuff.
penalties, though? Like, is it against the law to say... no, you could say whatever you want.
No?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if an executive or CEO or somebody
You're
said
publicly
that,
held company.
wouldn't that be material
Yeah,
information?
I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a
I'm not a
fundamental,
lawyer, but-
if it's a fundamental flaw in how they do operations and they cover that up, I think that is actually illegal. But in terms of this case, based on what we've seen and certain comments from Alex Stamos and others, it looks like this is an upgrade which just caused an ongoing memory failure which rolled over to various different data centers. But it's not a good look, you know. 14 hours is a hell of a long time to have a communication service that important taken out.
And it wasn't just Facebook, it was WhatsApp and Instagram as well.
The entire schmill. And, of course, they're merging those all in, so it's only going to get worse if they do this again.
I didn't notice.
Neither did I.
And there is one advantage of not having Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp accounts. I didn't notice. Although Pavel Durov, who runs Telegram, he was the Mark Zuckerberg of Russia until Russia forced him out and said, "We'll take that. We'll take it from here." And he had to leave. He said that Telegram, in the 24-hour period that Facebook was down, got 3 million new subscribers. So apparently, that as powerful and dominant as WhatsApp is, if people can't
honestly,
use it, they're going to find an
those
alternative.
3 million new subscribers on Telegram, I wish them luck because their security sucks.
Does it really? I mean,
Yeah.
we know that they say they do their roll-your-own encryption, which, of course, is always a bad idea. But
Yeah, I'm sorry. Compared to Signal, then the stuff that Telegram is rolling out is just ridiculous.
But honestly, does it matter? I mean, if you really want secure messaging, you'd use Signal. You wouldn't use Facebook Messenger either, right?
Well, I
use
don't
Open
have the app on my phone. I use the web stuff because some people still insist on contacting me on that. But I think if you're looking, yes, honestly, at the end of the day, for 99% of the population, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But there's a point of principle to be had here, and you should support people that do it right rather than going with the easiest option.
I don't know if even what Telegram's doing is easy. It's just their own thing.
I don't know. I looked at Telegram. I looked at the
I love Telegram but I love its user interface. I love the stickers. I love the way it works. And I
UI
don't
is
care if
great.
somebody can read my messages.
But if you look for the permissions it's asking for, I'd draw the line at that. And it's the same with Snapchat.
Yeah.
They're asking for an incredible amount of data in return
when
for
you
this
put
service.
stuff on your phone, of course, you are giving a lot away.
This is it. We all live on
And
a phone.
who knows who you're giving it to? I mean, based on the conversation you guys had last week about Foursquare,
Exactly.
it could be going practically anywhere.
Yeah. That was a little bit scary. I think it's funny because really, if you think about what Facebook does with a user base, an active user base of over 1.5 billion people, it's remarkable that they don't go down more often. The fact that they stay running is incredible.
Well, it was kind of interesting because, like, Monday night, I was buckling down to take care of some work, and I was going to send some invites to a dinner, and 10 p.m., right when I was doing it, Gmail went down for 2 hours. So I was like...
Gmail went out, too. That's right.
Google Drive.
Time to take a nap, so...
You probably more than anyone, Matt, have some idea of the complexity of running these massive networks and how difficult it is. It does seem odd that you could take the entire Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram network down with an upgrade that cascades throughout the network. That seems like a fragile network.
I would love to read the post-mortem on how they're trying to take out whatever the single point of failure was that affected them.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible that this might have been part of the first step of unifying them all on a common architecture, as they've been talking about?
That's interesting.
I think that's.
Do you think Mark's going to move that fast?
I think they need to move it quickly because otherwise they're going to get regulated to hell and back.
And they were probably working on it long before they talked about it publicly.
Yeah.
People mocked me when I went back to Facebook after Mark's post saying, "Oh, you believe him, he's going privacy first." And they actually talked me out of it. On the other hand, maybe there is some credibility because 2 of the top guys at Facebook just left. Chris Cox, who joined Facebook early on, he's actually in some ways considered the number 3 at the company after Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg. He created the original news feed.
The guy that did the work.
Yeah, he's the guy who did the work. And while the announcement was very cordial, Mark wished him well and said, we've been talking about this for some time. The New York Times said they had talked to 6 people involved in the situation, all anonymous, that the differences between Cox and Zuckerberg stemmed from Zuckerberg's asserting control over its company and its apps, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger, rolling out that plan to a single privacy-focused platform. And that was something Cox apparently vehemently disagreed with.
Yeah, I saw these reports, and I'm in two minds about this, because if Zuckerberg has got into his head that he is going to make this a privacy, focused communication system, he's made some good buys in the last couple of months. He's got people from the EFF on board.
Really?
He hired Nate Cardozo from the EFF to handle the encryption for WhatsApp. He's hired a couple of people, I think another one from Access Now, I can't remember the name. But if it's looking like this is serious, this could be a very, very good thing. But I'm always tricky with anonymous sources. Hell, I've used them myself. But, I want to see how this plays out, because there's been a lot of staff movement at Facebook in the last 18 months to 2 years.
You can read between the lines in Chris Cox's blog post about his departure. He says, quote, "As Mark has outlined, we're turning a new page in our product direction. This will be a big project, and we will need leaders who are excited to see the new direction through."
So apparently he was not excited.
I'm not excited. I'm leaving. Now, remember, these guys are billionaires. There's no, honestly, if I were a billionaire, I might have to think twice about sticking around, especially in the face of a complete product redesign.
Although
the other departing executive is Chris Daniels, who was a longtime Facebook executive who was brought in to replace Brian Acton, of the guy who created WhatsApp. When he left late 2017, Daniels took over on WhatsApp, so he's only been there for a little while. Daniels didn't post any reason for leaving.
With Cox's statement, it was notable in that it said very little in terms of what the direction was that he objected about so much. But at the same time, the guy's made his money. It's not as though he's post-economic now, so it's just like, take a couple of years off, take a look around as what's coming up.
And Acton, who of course made billions off the Facebook acquisition of WhatsApp, he and Jan Koum sold WhatsApp for $19 billion. It actually depends on this Facebook stock price, as much as $22 billion for one app. Acton was speaking at Stanford this week and told the Stanford students, I didn't want to sell WhatsApp, but you don't have the choice when you take investors. I was a minority stake. I had to do the right thing for our 50 employees and for the investors. I really didn't have a choice of selling to Facebook. I wasn't happy about it, but that's the way it is. And he blamed Wall Street. He said, the reason we've got surveillance capitalism and companies like Facebook digging deeper and deeper into your private stuff is because Wall Street's demanding those kinds of growth numbers and those kinds of income numbers. And he said, you should delete Facebook. He says, it's not going to get better. This is the guy who has billions of dollars from Facebook. You should delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
I listened to him, and I did.
Honestly, I still use it because
you have to.
I have to use it.
But do you, though?
Well, actually, it's not so much about journalism, because by the time something comes onto Facebook, it's old news anyway. It's more about, I've got family and friends in the US.
That's what I hear always over and over. Yeah.
And yes, I could set up an email.
Pick up the phone. Write him a letter.
Pick up the phone.
You want to borrow a fountain pen? A quill?
But the company's entire business model is predicated on something which is inherently scummy.
Right.
And it's just, I wish I could...
Can't argue with that.
Well, it's a Brokeback Mountain moment. It's like, I wish I could quit you, but you're still going to...
But you can. I have faith in you, Ian. I think you could quit.
Well, maybe.
Do it as a 30-day challenge.
I still love Twitter, though.
Have you done a 30-day social media challenge?
Yeah.
Really?
I've gone 30 days off Twitter at various times. But, you know my story with Facebook is I quit in like 2011 and never.
Why did you quit way back when?
Because honestly, you could see sort of the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all played out like that. So.
he, Acton basically said there's no choice in Silicon Valley these days, that you pretty much have to do what Facebook is doing, which is interesting. And I wonder if what this was Chris Cox's argument against going private on Facebook is you're not going to make any money, that this is going to cut off your air supply to Facebook.
I've got to say, as a journalist, we saw a lot of media companies when Facebook made their pivot to video in 2011 think, right, we'll follow that. We'll get some of this gorgeous stuff that's coming in. And Facebook basically set the terms that you're going to get what we give you. And they're now, you've seen with the recent buyouts of media platforms for much lower valuations, that hasn't worked. I would not trust this company further than I could throw it. And I'm no upper body strength at all.